I think this would have made a huge difference for me in my life. My name is Sharon Brubaker. I am the owner of the Grief School. The Grief School is a private university and the place where healing begins. And I'm so honored to be here with you. If you're here today, if you stopped in the live, if you're watching me on the Facebook page, that tells me something about you. It tells me that your heart is broken. It tells me that your heart is broken either from a loss, recent or long ago, but you're also still trying to navigate that loss. You're trying to figure it out. And today I want to talk about the grief brain, your brain on grief. What happens to your brain on grief? Let's talk about that. When was the first time that you noticed your brain didn't work the same after the loss? Last night we were talking about what it means to be a griever. Tonight, I'm going to go finish that tonight. In the live tonight, we actually go back to that. What does it mean to be a griever? And yesterday, I taught a really good class in Grief Study Hall, and I think we ought to elaborate on that. And that is, what is the grief process totally? And I want to get back to that. But today we're talking about look at what my brain just did. It went in 3 different areas. That's what happens when we're the griever. When loss hits, your brain isn't just sad. It's been hijacked. Your brain has been hijacked. You guys, listen to me when I say this. Sorry to call you guys. Your brain on grief has been hijacked. Your brain on grief has been hijacked. You think it's the same brain. You think it's the same brain that you've always had. But the brain has been hijacked. 1 minute you're running off on autopilot. The next minute it feels like someone has ripped the wiring out of your head. You can't even think. Vicky says, my brain turned into oatmeal. You can't even think. Here's the other thing. They're coming after you 1 minute at 1 second, every minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Make a decision. Because now you have to make the toughest decisions in your life. You found out your person has died, and now you're required to make these decisions. What funeral home to use? What casket do I pick? What color casket do I pick? 1 minute you're running your life on autopilot. The next minute it feels like someone has ripped the wiring out of your brain. Thoughts scatter. Your focus vanishes. Even basic decisions feel like you're solving an algebra problem, like you're reading a foreign language. The first wave of grief is like a shock wave to your head. It hits you so hard, but your brain goes into survival mode. It doesn't care about your to-do list. Your brain doesn't care about your to-do list. It doesn't care what's coming up. Your brain 100% is trying to solve what has just happened to you. Thank you, Denise. You're amazing. Joanne, did you get the ebook? Check your email and check your junk mail if you don't see it in there. Thoughts scatter. Focus vanishes. Even basic decisions feel like solving an algebra problem. The first wave of grief is a shock wave. Your brain goes into survival mode. It doesn't care about your to-do list. It doesn't care about your errands, anything that you promised someone. You promised someone you were come and visit them. Even the story you were in the middle of, your brain just stops telling it. You know, the other day I went to the store and I was going to pick up some cereal. I'm sorry, what was I saying? That's what it's like. There's this other thing that happens. Miss Suzanne was saying this yesterday, when you get a chance, check. Miss Suzanne was saying this yesterday. Hey, Sharon, she was saying that you can see it in the eyes of the griever. You can see the grief in their eyes. And you can. And a lot of it is this. Grievers do this thing. Their face is just solemn and their eyes are staring off. But you know they're thinking. You know in those eyes that they're thinking. It's because the brain is on a spin. The brain is on a spin. And here's the other thing. This is not where we grieve. You guys have to understand this. This is so important. This is not where we grieve. We do not grieve in the brain. We grieve in the heart. The brain only cares about one thing, and that is protecting you from pain. The brain has one mission, and that is to protect you from pain. And that mission is so big, it could crash into you. It could crash into you. Yoo-hoo! Hello, dear. How are you? It only cares about one thing, and that's protecting you from pain. That's why your thoughts seem scrambled. That's why your brain is getting scrambled, because it really is only trying to protect you from one thing. Right? It's got this protection mechanism going around it, and it's got this spin going on. The brain is thinking about the thoughts. So you're having thoughts, and your thoughts are about your person. What do I do next? And here's a big one. All that's going on, you're having these thoughts about that. They're coming from here. But this spin is the thinking about the thoughts. It's the thinking about all the thoughts that are happening. When I tell you you're thinking about your person, this is your memories. You're crying, you have tears, you hear people talking about them, you're talking about anything that has to do with your person, any thoughts that have to do with your person is coming from there. So your brain puts this protection mechanism around it. That's why none of the thoughts can get out. None of the other things that you have to do, the to-do list cannot get out. The to-do list is stuck in here. Everything that was normal from before is now gone. The brain is spinning. You're having 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day on your grief. But the brain is thinking about the thoughts. It's just going on and on and on and on. And you keep throwing in thoughts. Why? Why me? Why now? Why us? Why did this happen? I'm a good person. I'm a good person. I tithe. How did you allow this to happen to me? That's why your thoughts feel scrambled. The brain is trying to numb out. It's trying to shut out, and it turns down the volume. Turns down the volume of who you were before. It turns it way down because now all of this is going on. And this, my friends, is loud. It's very loud. When was the first time you realized your brain wasn't keeping up with the world around you? When was the first time you realized your brain was oatmeal? When was the first time you realized your brain is not keeping up? You're not only thinking about your person, you're also thinking about the world around you, how it is going to be perceived. Look at this. Look at this. How do I want to memorialize him? How do I want people to remember him? How do I want people to love him and take care of him? How do I want people to remember him? What is the thing that I want? It's the thing, you guys. It is the thing. You've just stepped onto the stage of presenting your person to the world. So you're not only thinking about your person and the memories and crying and talking, you're also having to think about all the things. Sharon says, within a couple of days, my brain turned to mush. When Austin and when Donovan died, but more when Donovan died, this is what was happening. I was walking up to Erica and I said, this or this, blue or yellow. She couldn't decide, right? It was just like this. Which one? You want it this way? What color do you want? And I had a ton of cousins who are all high-powered lawyers, doctors, directors working with me in the other room. So we were all in the other room putting this together. Not this, but whatever she needed for the funeral. The program, the name, all I had to do was walk up to her and I just gave her a choice. I didn't give her, she didn't have big decisions to make. And it was her and Lewis. They didn't have big decisions to make, but that's what I was doing. Okay, why grief hijacks your thinking? Grief floods the brain with stress chemicals. Your brain has been flooded with stress chemicals, right? Stress chemicals flood the brain. The nervous system it feels like it's in constant danger mode. It's like the smoke alarm just went off and nobody is turning it off. And it's blaring really loud, even though the fire has already gone out. You can't concentrate because your body thinks it's still in an emergency. Your body thinks it's still in an emergency. Friends, when you pick up the phone and you got that call, when you got that knock on the door, the adrenaline shot through your body. The adrenaline shot through your body like never before. Think about it. Go back to the time you got the call. You had 15,000 thoughts at one time. Diesel D says, I agree. I couldn't think about anything but Jackson's death. My 15-year-old and I planned my husband's funeral. She made a video of him and she was amazing for just being 15. Oh, what is her name? Share her name so we can tap, tap, tap and give her some love. Friends, I want to, just her first name. I want to say this. When you got the call or you got the knock, this went off. If you're anything like me, I was like, call Erica, right? So we know I called Erica, but it was like, call this person, call this person, do this, say this. All of these thoughts all went off at one time in my brain. Call the funeral home, call the priest, call the this one, call the that one. They all went off in my brain in hey Rosa, how are you? Hey, Aaliyah made the video. I was just numb. Okay, Joanne says I was just numb. It's both, my love. Both. So this is going off all at one time. Sometimes we're not paying attention to it. And then the nervous system sends a protection mechanism to us that causes the numbness. The reason that we perceive that we're numb, Miss Joanne, is because all of this is going on and we can't stop it. We can't just grab one thought. It's like, brrr! That's exactly how it is. And because you can't catch it and you can't slow it down, your whole body, the nervous system, slows you down. That's why the griever has that look. They just do this. And you're like, hey, what were you thinking right there? And they turn to you and they say this. Nothing. But they're doing this. They're doing this, but they can't describe it. They can't slow it down. They can't. The nervous system feels like it's in constant danger mode. It's like a smoke alarm won't stop blaring, even though the fire is already over. You can't concentrate because your body thinks it's still in an emergency. The moment that you got that call or the knock, the amount of adrenaline that went through your body was just unbelievable. It may have happened as early as getting the diagnosis. And it might not happen until a couple days later. Hear me out. If you're standing at the bedside with your dad and your dad is passing away, you might not get the adrenaline for a couple days later, especially if you've been into it for a while. And the adrenaline might come in just little pieces. That's what I was noticing with Lawrence the other day. His daughter was she was having little moments all the time. The part of your brain that usually manages planning, memory, focus. The prefrontal cortex is what manages all that. It gets shoved to the back seat. The limbic system, the emotional center, takes over. That's why everything feels heavy. That's why everything feels foggy. This isn't weakness, it's biology. That's what's happening. You cannot find your car keys. You don't know where you set this marker down. You're not losing it. You're carrying an overload that your brain wasn't designed to process in one shot. Your brain was not designed to process this hijack all at one time. And so it has to try and protect you. How does your brain feel different now compared to before the loss? Oops, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Oops, I just highlighted mine. How does your brain feel different now compared to the hijack? I started with brain fog when I found out I was around 18 of chemo, and it was a nightmare. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Miss Kathy, my heart to yours. Truly my heart to yours. Friends, I can't even imagine what it would be like to be going through another life-altering event like a health change and going through a loss at the same time. Huge, absolutely huge. Think about it. Absolutely huge to be going through that simultaneously at the same time. Okay, let's look here at my notes. Okay, I only have 45 minutes because I have to go to the dentist today. Racing thoughts versus empty thoughts. Okay, racing thoughts. Sharon says mine happened immediately. My husband was unexpectedly passed away after walking our dog. My heart to yours, Miss Sharon. Miss Sharon, share his first name with us. My emotions definitely took over, says D. Diesel. I even got mad at my cousin. She told me Jackson had died. So she was the person delivering the message and you got mad. That makes sense to me. That totally makes sense to me. Because here you get some bad news. You want to just punch somebody or someone. Plus, it doesn't go in your system right away. It seems unbelievable. It's not uncommon for us to get the news and fall to the ground. It is not uncommon for us to get the news that something has just happened to us and for our knees to give out and for us to fall to the ground. That is absolutely not uncommon for grievers because what has happened, they just can't believe what has just happened. Okay. My emotions definitely took over. I even got mad at my cousin. It's only been 2 months and I still feel foggy because you are, my love. Miss Sharon, you are. You are. I see the fog lift and the brain start to get it around the 4th to the 6th month. It takes time for that to happen. I'm going to sidetrack here really quick. So this is what's going on in the brain, right? Stress chemicals. You can't do your to-do list. You're thinking about your thoughts. You're thinking about the thinking. All right? Two months. There's two types of grief. I'm sidetracking here, you guys. She said greater clarity now with your guidance. You're so cute. Absolutely cute. Thank you. Two types of grieving: intellectual grieving, which happens in our brain, and emotional grieving, which happens in our heart. Okay? You remember, you're thinking about the thinking. You got stress chemicals going on, right? You've got a to-do list that you can't get to. All of this is going on in the brain. And then the brain puts a super coating around it. Our nervous system puts a coating around it. So this is the truth. Nothing is getting in and nothing is getting out. Miss Sharon says it's been 2 months. 2 months. In 2 months, you're still right here. You're still right here. You come down here and you do feel the grief, but immediately you go right back up there. Okay? So when you do feel the grief, you process the grief, some of the pressure is off. But for most of us, what I see, this is what I see after doing this for 18 years, is that we stay up here for about, from day one, anywhere to about 6 months. This is also why, if you want to do therapy, most therapists won't even start seeing you until 6 months, because they need you to get here where you're able to do both. I see you immediately because I want to explain to you what's going on. So it's around the 1st to the 6th month that the numbness starts to wear off. Once the numbness starts to wear off, this right here, this pain gets heavier. You think you're in the deepest pain ever, and then this happens. The pain level goes up. And once the pain level goes up, that's when you start thinking. See? You start thinking you're doing grief wrong. You start thinking you're doing this grief wrong, or something's wrong with you. This can't be right. How could this be getting worse? But what it is your brain has gone through the whole list of everything that it can to protect you. It's gone through everything. It's tried everything. And then finally it's like, all right, I'm sorry. You're going to have to feel it. You're going to have to do it. And it starts to release the emotions. Also, your brain can't keep you stuck anymore. Now, have I met people that are still in emotional grief months and months later? Yes. Have I met people that are still in emotional grief all this time later, and they're just stuck in their brain? Yes, 100%. Most people, when I meet them, are here. What we do in our class is we bring you here. Our job is to bring you here, because this is where we heal. This is where we do the work. We need to understand this, but this is where we do the work. This is what's broken. Hey friends, my name is Sharon Brubaker and I'm a grief specialist. If this is your first time here, I own the grief school. I'm the owner of the grief school, but I wrote a book that I want to offer you guys, That Grief Shit. What is the shit? The shit is everything that nobody talks to us about with grief, right? If you're here, I already know one thing. I'm just going to read from the front page. Something broke your heart. Welcome to the truth about grief. That's the opening of this. If you're here, I already know one thing. Something broke your heart. Maybe it was a death. Maybe it was a divorce. Maybe it was a betrayal so deep you still can't breathe right. Grief doesn't care about the title. It cares about what was sacred to you, what you're feeling right now. It's real. It's raw. And no one taught you how to carry it. You've probably been told to be strong or just give it time. Or worse, people have said things that cut like glass because they didn't know what else to say. We get it, not because we studied it in a book, but because we lived it. We know what a broken heart feels like. And it's not just sadness. It's heavy. It's relentless. It's life-altering. And that's why this guide isn't here to fix you. It's here to walk with you through the real shit of grief. Understanding grief is just the beginning. Doing the work to mend what is shattered, that's the second part. That's where your healing begins. And no, it's never too soon to start, because grief doesn't have a calendar. It has a voice that's been begging to be heard. All right, guys, free ebook, That Grief Shit. Not very long. Kind of short. The claim to fame in this is that I teach you how to do a brain dump, how to dump the emotions that are in your brain. No one will read this, so let it be raw. I love it. What's been spinning in your head all day? Dump that. What's been spinning in your head all day? Maybe it's your grocery list. Maybe it's your grocery list and you just got to get it onto a piece of paper. So if you haven't done this, for 9 straight days, you will receive an email with a video of me, about 3 to 5 minute teaching video in here. Comes along with it. Someone said to me the other day, and Miss Sharon, it wasn't you, but I'm just saying, they said they downloaded it but they're not ready to look at it. That's okay too. When you're ready, when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you don't know what the next thing is to do, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember I downloaded that. That's when you're gonna need this. So make sure you have it ready to go. That grief shit. Okay. I'm gonna get back to the brain. My brain doesn't feel as sharp or capable. That's exactly it. That's the griever's brain. That's your brain on grief. Maria said, hi, I'm new. Hi, Maria. My brain is muddy water now. My brain is muddy water. Where did muddy water go? Thank you, Miss Debbie. Miss Debbie's helping out today, you guys, so she will help you follow the prompts. Her name is Inga. Inge. Inga. Amber, I'm so sorry for your loss. My brain is muddy water. I lost that comment. Chris. Vicky says, Chris. My brain is muddy water. My brain is muddy water, not oatmeal. Okay. Yeah, because oatmeal is really thick. And muddy water it's not as clear. But yes, a great analogy. Great analogy. Okay. I want to talk about racing thoughts versus empty thoughts. Some grievers tell me that their brain won't stop spinning. They replay conversations and last moments and the what ifs all night long. You guys, when I tell you that that is so true, your brain is replaying conversations, this spin. Remember I said it's the thinking about the thoughts. The thinking about the thoughts is conversations, memories. You're going over memories over and over and over and over and over again. What if? Why? Why now? Why me? All of that is going over in your brain. The last moments. When I tell you guys that Erica was repeating the last year with Austin over and over and over again, Erica was repeating the last year with Austin over and over again. She was talking about the Halloween costume he had, the Christmas that he had, the little girl who was sweet on him in the class. How this happened that year, this happened. Her brain was going through the last year and reviewing the last year of Austin's life to compare how it was. To compare how it was. To compare how it was. Thank you, Miss Debbie. Oh, my heart to yours. She says, Amber said she lost her aunt yesterday. Others say their brain feels like an empty room. Like there's nothing in there. It's just blank. Nothing gets in. Nothing sticks. So the spin is this, empty. So you either got the thinking or you have no thinking. Look, guys, look at this. You're either this or you're this. You're either thinking or no thinking. Both are normal. Both are okay. Racing thoughts is brain's way of trying to control what happened. Empty thoughts are your brain's way of trying to protect you from overload. I got to get a clean piece of paper. You guys got to hear that. Racing thoughts. Thinking. Thinking about the thoughts. No thinking. Both of them will happen. Okay, here's the other thing. Both of them will happen. One day you'll do this, one day you'll do that. Or you can be right here the whole time or right here the whole time. Or you can go back and forth. Racing thoughts are your brain's way of trying to control. This equals control. Empty thoughts are your brain's way of trying to protection. This equals protection. Here's the other thing. Thank you for the there she is. I hear that, and I'm like, that's Suzanne. Your brain on thoughts. You're thinking. You're racing. It is a form of control. It is trying to control the situation. You're not thinking at all. Your brain feels empty. It's a form of protection. What has just happened to you is too much. Your brain can't handle it. It's too much information at one time. So it shuts down, right? Let me show you what it does. It takes this thing. That's what it did. It just unplugged you. It unplugs you. But you can go back and forth. This can be Monday, Thursday, and Sunday, right? This can be Wednesday and Friday. And sometimes you can be right here in between, a little bit of both. Both of them are okay. Neither one of them means you're broken. It means your brain is doing what it knows how to do to survive. It knows how to do this to survive. That's what your brain is doing. Do you find your thoughts racing like a storm? Or do you feel more like your mind goes blank? Okay, let me look at the comments here. Miss Kathy says, I often say I'm trying not to think. When you're trying not to think, are you over here overthinking? I'm trying not to think. Yeah. Wow. Think about that. Is awesome. I need a bumper sticker for that. Grieve that shit. I'm trying not to think. I'm trying not to think. Yeah. Miss Miss Monette said, Doug is on my mind. My heart to yours, love. Hey, Bella Red, I see you. Flower Girl said, so sorry for your loss. I had a liver transplant 5 months after I lost Jackson. My heart to yours. I just said that because Miss Kathy has had some stuff go on, and you had something really life-altering as well. A liver transplant. Oh, my heart to yours, love. You guys, for 1 second, imagine being here in your brain and having to turn it off completely so that you can concentrate on yourself. Amber says that sounds familiar. The what is. My narcissistic brother's cruelty too. Yes, absolutely. I also deal with survivor's guilt. Mike died from cancer. Survivor's guilt. Survivor's guilt. Oh, Miss Vicky, I need to do a class on that. Survivor's guilt. I'm writing that down. I want to do a class on that. That'd be great. I remember my in-laws texting me nonstop about arrangements, and I was home paying bills. Yeah. I had anticipatory grief, a lot of grief during his illness. Yes, totally happens. Like I said, sometimes this happens when you get the call. Sometimes this happens before. Sometimes you go a few weeks, days, and months before this even kicks in. If you're anything like me, if you're trying to be strong, if you're in the be strong phase, feelings racing, numbness going from either extreme. Renee says, I have both. My mind doesn't shut off. Mama Bear says, my mind doesn't shut off. Yeah. Grand entrance. Debbie says, Suzanne never enters quietly. Thank you, Debbie. Grand entrance. I love it, Suzanne. I am a cancer survivor. Okay, now I see. But I want to just talk about survivor's guilt. My heart to yours, Miss Vicky. Truly, my heart to yours. Was that really weird of me to do that? To just be paying the bills and I'm assuming this, Miss Joanne. Thank you. Great question. I'm assuming this. I'm assuming that you were getting text messages, and you're like, I need to pay the bills. I need to clean out the cupboard. I need to do this. No, that was your grief, love. That was your grief. That was your grief on thoughts. That was your intellectual grief. That was your intellectual grief taking over control. So your brain went to bills. Pay the bills. Your brain went to pay the bills, right? It was the thing that it was thinking. 100%, it was intellectual. It was not emotional. Because the thought of, here's the other thought, was having to plan the funeral. Plan the funeral, answer questions about the funeral. And so your brain just shut that part off. It shut that off completely because this connects to this, which was the grief. This seemed safer for you. It was easier. And so you stepped into that because it was easier. Oh, I love it, Miss Monette. Definitely. And this is, a lot of people do this. They don't pay bills, but a lot of people go plant their garden. They clean out their pantry. They clean out the closet and take the clothes out. I kid you not. They go in the closet and they start cleaning out their person's clothes. Sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but they don't know what else to do. And so they do that. They do that thing. What was that one thing that you did and you're like, why am I doing this? It was so weird. It was so out of character for you, but you couldn't believe that you were even doing it or that you even thought to do it. We do that. Vicky says, I cleaned out the fridge. Yep. We need something to do to keep our mind off the thing. We tell ourselves to keep busy. Sometimes we don't tell ourselves to keep busy. We just start doing the keep busy. We just start doing the keep busy. Hey friends, my name is Sharon Brubaker and I'm the grief specialist. I'm the owner of the Grief School, which is a private university and the place where healing begins. I wrote this for you guys and it is absolutely free. It is That Grief Shit. It is That Grief Shit. And it is a simple, I wrote it simple, a simple ebook that talks about all the shit of grief. It talks about all the shit of grief. Pain is a doorway. Every time you allow yourself to feel it, you feel it without fixing, hiding, or numbing. You're walking through the doorway of grief. And when you walk through the doorway, it's painful. Every tear is a step. Every breath you take in the middle of the ache is a step. Every honest sentence you say, I'm not okay. This is not okay. I can't do this is a step. This isn't about rushing through grief. It's about not turning away from it anymore. It's about not turning away from it anymore. You don't walk through it alone. You're probably thinking, I don't know how to walk through this. I don't think I'll get a break. How do I do this? And that's okay. And that's why you're here. You're allowed to take a break from grief. You're allowed to take a grief break. You're allowed to fall apart. You're allowed to fall on the floor in a fetal position. But what you're not meant to do is do this in isolation. You were never meant to do this alone. Grief is always done in community. It is always done in community. Even if you're just here hanging out and you haven't commented anything, grief was always meant to be done this way. That's why I created this space. Not to give you a 5-step plan, but to sit with you in truth. It's me. It's you. You're not crazy. You're not doing this wrong. I promise you, friends, you're not doing this wrong. Click the link above. Click the link Click my picture. If you're in TikTok, click my picture again, and click the link that says click here for hope. And there you can download the ebook. If you are on the Facebook page or YouTube, you click the link that says click here for hope. Kathy says, ever since I was little, I prayed that I would pass away before my parents. Now they are older and I'm scared. One of the things, Miss Kathy, is that's a thought that you've had for a very long time. And that's a deep thought that you probably need to look into. You really need to look into it. I'd be honored to help you with it. If you click on the link that says click here for hope, there's a place where you can do a grief assessment, and we can assess the grief. Monette said she got rid of Doug's belongings. Monette, did you regret that? Did you ever come to regret that? Just a question. Did you ever come to regret that? All right. The day after he died. Joanne, it's your timeline. What did Joanne say? I just resumed my normal routine. Vicki says, I just renewed my... Yes, sleep. Diesel D says, mine is sleeping. I can't do anything when I sleep. I don't remember. It is the respite. It's the much needed respite that you need. The one time that we can get respite, most of us, is when we're sleeping. Most time we can get a rest is when we're sleeping. Okay, guys, I would stay on longer, but I forgot that I have a dentist appointment. So I'm going to finish this tomorrow. I'm highlighting it so I know where to go. Oh yeah, there's plenty. There's plenty for tomorrow. So I'm going to finish the brain tomorrow. Finish talking about the brain. Tonight, we are talking about if you're a griever, griever, title, whether you're a griever, whether it fits you, why it should be like that. That's what we're talking about tonight. I'm finishing part 2 of that. I'll be on at 8 p.m. tonight. This is That Grief Shit. Download That Grief Shit. See me tonight at 8 o'clock. And also tonight, I want to stay on a little bit longer and answer any questions you may have. Any questions that you have about grief. I'm going to teach the lesson, and then I would like to stay on and answer any questions you may have. Hey, Jerry. Oh. Got rid of Doug's belongings. Yeah. Hold on. Sometimes sleep is resisting. A lot of times sleep is resisting, but it's okay. Our body needs that. Is tonight here? Tonight is here. Thank you so much. I just love you. Thank you, Miss Diesel D. Thank you. So helpful. Good, Sharon. I'm glad you're here. Hang out. We got more information for you, my love. It's your timeline and no one else's. 100%. You get to say how this grief goes. I don't come on here to tell you to tell you what to do. I want to give you a ton of information. And then I want you to pull the parts that work for you. I don't know you. Maybe you're a sleeper. Maybe you're not a sleeper. Maybe you're a thinker. Maybe you're an overthinker. I don't know. But it is your grief journey, 100%. You guys, you have to own it. It's your grief journey. Let me just throw a bunch of stuff at you, and you pick from the tree what you want, what works for you, what helps you. Here's the other thing. Here's the second thing. What was the second thing I wanted to tell you? Sometimes one of the things you pick off the tree is not going to work. And you're like, Sharon, this is not working. And then we can adjust it from there. Make sure you understand it, and then we can adjust it from there. So you need a lot of tools in your belt to work through this. You need a lot of tools. Yes, Miss Suzanne, you need a lot of tools in your belt to work through this. And so I give them to you in different forms. And I'm truly honored to do that. See you guys tonight at 8 o'clock. My heart to yours. Know that I see you. Know that I am you. Know that I love you. And I know this is hard. It's hard. But hard doesn't mean undoable. We can do this, and we can do it together. Thank you, friends. Bye. Bye.